Please help me to reach 1,000 subscribers. The message arrived at 6:42 p.m., just as I was buttoning the cuff of the shirt she bought me last Christmas. Don't come tonight. It's just a boring office thing. I'll be late. There was nothing strange about the words themselves. We'd both skipped each other's work events before. But the way the text sat on my screen, too quick, too neat, made something tighten quietly inside my chest, like a door closing in a room I didn't know I had. I stared at it longer than necessary. Then I typed, "Okay, have fun." She replied with a heart. A single red heart. No emoji ever felt colder. For weeks, small things had been shifting, almost too subtle to name. She started taking calls in the hallway. Her phone tilted away from me at night. New passwords. Longer showers. The faint smell of a cologne I didn't own clinging to her coat one evening when she thought I was asleep. Each detail alone meant nothing. Together, they formed a quiet question I kept refusing to ask. Because asking would mean I already knew. And I wasn't ready to know. At 7:15, I was still standing in the bedroom, dressed for a party I wasn't supposed to attend. I told myself I was being ridiculous, paranoid, insecure. But another voice, quieter, steadier, kept whispering, "Go. Just go." So I did. The venue was a rented rooftop downtown. The kind with warm string lights and soft music meant to make everyone look happier than they were. I'd never been to one of her office parties before, but the company logo on the welcome sign confirmed I was in the right place. No one stopped me at the entrance. No one asked who I was. That hurt more than it should have, because it meant I truly didn't belong in this part of her life. I saw her before she saw me. She was standing near the bar, laughing, head tilted back, hand resting lightly on a man's arm like it had always known its place there. I had spent 12 years learning the language of her body, the difference between polite laughter and real laughter, between habit and affection, between comfort and love. What I saw wasn't confusion. It wasn't a mistake. It was ease, the kind she used to have with me. The music thumped softly through the floor. Glasses clinked. Someone cheered in the distance. And in the middle of all that ordinary noise, my world ended without making a sound. I didn't walk toward her, didn't call her name, didn't create a scene. I just stood there, watching the woman I loved exist in a reality where I was already gone. He leaned closer to say something in her ear. She smiled in a way I hadn't seen in months, maybe longer. A strange calm settled over me. Not anger. Not yet. Just clarity. Like finally reading the last page of a book you've been pretending not to understand. Memories started replaying, but different now. The late meetings. The sudden gym membership. The way she'd stopped asking about my day. All the tiny fractures I'd kept smoothing over in my mind, telling myself marriages go through phases. Maybe they do. But phases aren't supposed to feel like disappearing. I must have made a sound because she turned. Our eyes met across the room. For a second, nothing moved. No music. No voices. No air. Just us. And the truth standing naked between us. Her face didn't show guilt first. It showed fear. And somehow that hurt even more. She stepped away from him immediately, already shaking her head before reaching me. "Why are you here?" she whispered. "Not I'm sorry. Not this isn't what it looks like. Just why are you here?" As if my presence was the real betrayal. "I wanted to see you," I said quietly. My voice sounded calm, like someone else's. Tears filled her eyes, quick and shining. "I was going to tell you." I nodded. People always say that when the truth arrives before they're ready. When? I asked. She didn't answer. Because we both knew the truth. She wasn't going to tell me. Not until she was sure she didn't need me anymore. The man by the bar had the decency to look uncomfortable. I almost appreciated him for that. Almost. "Does he make you happy?" I asked. The question surprised both of us. But I needed to know whether the last 12 years had been replaced, or just paused. Her silence was the loudest answer I'd ever heard. Something inside me broke then, but softly, like glass wrapped in cloth. No shouting. No accusations. Just the quiet collapse of a future I'd trusted more than myself. "I loved you honestly," I said. "Even when things were hard. Even when you stopped trying." She started crying for real now, shoulders shaking, mascara running. The kind of grief that comes too late to save anything. "I never wanted to hurt you." I know, I said. And I meant it. Because betrayal rarely feels cruel to the person committing it. Just feels justified. The music kept playing. People kept laughing. The world refused to pause for the end of my marriage. So I did the only thing left that still felt like dignity. I stepped back. I hope you find whatever you were looking for, I told her. Her hand reached for mine, desperate, trembling. I let it hang in the air between us. Not out of anger, but because holding it again would mean pretending this wasn't real. And I was finally too tired to pretend. I walked out without looking back. The night air was cold, sharp, honest. It filled my lungs like something clean for the first time in months. My phone buzzed in my pocket. I didn't check it. Some endings don't need last words. Just distance. People think the hardest part of betrayal is the moment you discover it. It isn't. The hardest part is realizing you'll survive it. And that survival means becoming someone new. Someone who understands that love without truth is just loneliness with company. I still remember the sound of her laughter on that rooftop. For a long time it haunted me. But now, when I think of that night, I don't feel anger anymore. Just gratitude for the silence that followed. Because in that silence, I finally heard something I'd ignored for years. Myself. And for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel alone.